Hello everybody, my name is Ian, also known as Commander Sloth on the forums, and today we'll be looking at one of the most controversial tanks in the game, the Panther D. You can't really get into a forum conversation about this game without it being rather heated. Some people say it sucks, some people say it's really good, other people say it's kind of in between or has inconsistent results. And to me, it's actually one of my favorite tanks in the game and has been for a while, and continues to be after 1.45. I see a lot of people, I think, using this tank incorrectly. I see a lot of people trying to snipe with it, and while it was used like that in the war, in this game I think it's much better used as a very aggressive, flanking, mobility-based tank because you have such a mobility advantage with the Panther D while playing it aggressive against American tanks and certain Russian tanks. So today I'll be going over a 10-minute replay here. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm sorry if it's a little, not really that great compared to other ones, but without further ado, let's get right into the action. Here we are in Ash River, and I'm not in any pre-made squad. It's just squadded me up with a guy named Wojak and another Panther D. And he has a pretty darn good game too in the Panther D. I think he really knows how to use its advantages and aggressively moves around and takes out targets without really letting him or letting them come to him. Now in the first part of this video I kind of derp off and I don't really do too much. So rather quickly here we're going to switch over to Wojak, who's going to get us started. Right here you're going to see me split up from him. I'm flanking down through a valley. I could have taken probably a quicker route to get to this area, but I was still happy with how this game went, so I'm not really going to complain. But I didn't do a whole too much in the first 5 minutes. Wojak is going to be the one who's going to get the first kills and really show what this tank can do at medium ranges against certain American tanks. So Wojak is over here on the right flank, and he spotted a Sherman 76 and starts immediately firing at it. His first shot misses, goes over the turret, but his second shot hits square on, and about a second later his tank just goes up. I don't know if it was a cannon breach shot or something like that, but he only took it down with 2 shots. Me, I'm over here and I'm just dirtling. I'm trying to shoot at 2 M6s who are in the rocks down there, who have some very kind of strange angles, and I'm not getting good shots. And as you can see here, I'm fighting the not very good gun depression of the Panther D. A lot of German tanks have great gun depression. This one really doesn't. The way that its turret is and a little bit far back on the hull, the way the hull is shaped, it doesn't really lend itself to gun depression situations where you want to use it. So you're going to see me struggling with it here a little bit. This is what I suggest people don't do with the Panther. Don't sit up on a hill and just plank at people. You're not going to be very accurate. You're not going to be satisfied with your damage output. You're not going to have a very good time with it at all. Right here, I do manage to take out a KV-1 AI and only 2 penetrating shots through the front. One kills the driver and the machine gunner, and the second shot kills everyone in the turret. And that can kind of show you what this gun can do when you know where to shoot at frontal plates. I don't know if it's the best example because it's against an AI, but they do have relatively similar damage models now that all the kinks have kind of been worked out of them. So I'm going to move up here, attempting to flank, and while I'm doing this, I don't realize it, but Wojak has also moved up on the right flank. And I kind of mess up here. I could have supported him here and flanked a target that he ends up having a little bit of trouble taking out. As he's moving up around these train cars, he spots an M6 that he just dropped artillery on, hiding behind the rock. And the M6 attempts to fire at him, goes through the train car, and more or less just bounces harmlessly. He's getting constantly hit by the 37mm, and even though it's hitting the kind of dangerous spot, which is that shot trap, it's just bouncing and not failing to penetrate. He also receives some shots against his gun barrel that also bounce and don't really do anything. As you can see, the spotting system's still a little weird. Even though he can clearly see this tank, we can't right now, only when the tank fires. I don't know if this is a bug with the replays or if this has to do with how he was viewing the tank. But eventually, he's still kind of firing at it, and it takes him a good while, but eventually he does get the shot he is looking for and ends up nailing the M6 right in its turret, I believe, and he ammo racks it and it blows up. This is just the only time you're actually going to see it take that many shots. You usually don't see it in this video, and you're going to see what I do next to really kind of show that. As this is going on, well, at first I get spooked because I think someone on the top of that ridge is alive, but he's actually dead. It was actually the AI I killed earlier, and I ended up spooking myself for no reason. So I quickly move up, and I think what I was going for here is I was attempting to get on top of that ridge where you kind of see that prominent tree, the closest tree to us, and get long-range shots of where I thought the enemy was going to be across the valley. Much to your surprise, you're going to see how different this actually turns up, because I wasn't paying attention to my map, and I had no idea what I was getting into up here. It ends up actually working totally into my favor. As I'm cresting the ridge, I spot two American tanks that are no more than maybe 50 meters away from me. An M6 Heavy and a Sherman 76. Both also know I'm here and quickly begin to turn around to engage me. I bounce a shot from the 76, no penetration, and I take a shot and immediately set him on fire and destroy his horizontal gun control, meaning he's not a threat to me anymore. He can't even aim his gun at me anymore. I look over at the 76 while taking support fire and kill it with one shot to the turret. This is where you generally want to shoot at Shermans. If you can get a shot at their turret, it really doesn't matter what you're using, it's going to kill it. Moving up to finish off the M6, I take a shot at its turret as well and finish off the entire tank. Now this is showing what the 75mm actually can do if you know where to shoot at tanks and actually be aggressive with it. Now, a lot of people like to say on the forums, oh, you need 7 or 6 penetrating shots with this gun to actually kill things, and obviously that's not the case. Later on, I've moved further up the hill, and I'm taking shots at a Sherman that is in a lot of cover in the thicket of some trees, and I'm not getting good shots. I'm hitting like the cusp of his turret. I'm hitting really rounded angles. I'm not getting accurate shots. And I mess up again. I try to go up to this little hillock and I attempt to use the bad gun depression of the Panther again. And I don't do anything. I don't get anything done in this position because I'm fighting the gun depression. So this is something you should always look out for when using the Panther tank. All the while this is going on, Wojciech is moving up to the right, and I begin taking fire from an AA vehicle, and I'm a little worried about it because I know these 37s can have the potential of messing up gun barrels, and as you can see I do take some gun barrel damage, but it only leaves it green. It doesn't really damage my gun barrel, it doesn't leave it in a position where a shell is going to explode in it and destroy my crew. I've actually also taken 3 shots to my gun barrel at this point, so I don't know if I'm getting lucky or if people are exaggerating how easy it is to take out. Finally, I get a better position, and the shot that I take right there ends up hitting the Sherman a little forward and ends up killing his gunner and driver. Basically knocks out the tank for a little bit. I take some pot shots at this AA vehicle that's continuing to harass me, but due to the angle he was in and the way that particular large boxy AA turret is set up, my shots weren't very accurate, and I end up putting it just through 2 sheets of metal instead of really hitting anything in between. I ended up just hitting the corner of the turret. I take another shot at it later and end up, I think, killing its driver, but he wasn't an issue. Another teammate ended up taking him out later. As I'm continuing to defend myself against this AA, I decide, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to charge this Sherman. I don't want to let him repair much. I don't want to let him poke out and start shooting at me again because, while I'm dealing with this guy, because I don't want to get a flank shot. Unworried about taking flank shots from the AA, I just kind of stormed forward to the rock where I last saw him. I noticed that there was a dead AA vehicle behind him, so the one that was shooting at me earlier must have gotten taken out, and that was actually a different AA vehicle shooting me now. As I peek around this corner, boom, I run into the Sherman. He bounces harmlessly off me. I put a single shot through his frontal glacis. Basically, if you're shooting at the front of a Sherman like that, you want to aim for just at the very top of the plate, like I just did right there. If you get a penetrating shot, you're just going to kill most likely most of the crew, or the entire tank. Another AA vehicle was hiding behind him, and I kill it with a single shot to basically the center mass of the target. If you're firing at an AA vehicle, your best chance is to always fire at center mass. Throughout this whole game, I've actually had a nice little Hetzer guy who's been following me around and providing supporting fire, so that was also nice too. And me and the Hetzer decided to kind of take well, we thought they were going to come at us from across that field, but actually we ended up being snuck up on from an M6 from one of their spawns. And here you can see the very bad gun traverse, the Panther. At least the first Panther. He has abysmal gun traverse. The M6 takes a shot at me. He isn't using his 37, so you can see it bounces off my gun into my mantlet and then fails to penetrate the rest of my tank, doing really not a whole lot. My first shot didn't do a whole lot. My second shot, however, hits him right in the turret, and I think I damaged his muzzle breach, and a shell explodes inside him. That's why you see that kind of delayed kill on that guy. Once again, only needing 2 shots to end up killing the offending tank. And from here, pretty much the game is basically over. I'm getting hit by an AA, and the Hetzer's rushing up to kill him, but vengeance comes in the form of a whirlwind. As you can see, his 20mm tracer's just tearing the hell out of him. And that's basically it. The game was incredibly fun. I think the Panther is honestly a very misunderstood tank by our forums in general. I see way too many people just hanging back and not being aggressive with it, when in reality this tank should be used as aggressively as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my first time kind of doing this sort of thing. If you guys want things like this in the future, I'd be happy to do them. I had a lot of fun making this and learning how to do the editing and learning how to basically set it up so it's enjoyable for you guys to watch. So please leave a comment, like if you actually like it. Please don't like it if you just support me on the forums or anything like that. So thanks for watching, and bye-bye.